we would play DUI Mario Kart. So we would make a bunch of it was basically palomas. Like we would make palomas and super, super strong. And whatever place you came in, you did that many shooters.
Oh my God.
So
oh my God.
It depended on how many people were playing. If you just set it up
crazy.
for the 4 controllers, then you were basically chugging a full paloma in between races. You came in 4th. DUI Mario Kart.
Hey everyone. Welcome to With That Being Said, a Roof Fitness podcast. I'm Bradley Schneller. This is
Sarah Altabello.
Boom. Today we're going to be talking about Wodi Gras and fitness competitions.
Yeah.
So, icebreaker. I thought this would be fun.
I know. We've been thinking about it and I'm still struggling with it.
What is something you like to compete in that is not fitness related? So, can't count a race. So I was just telling Sarah I used to love competing at Mario Kart. I felt like I was the best Mario Kart player in my house.
Yeah.
In college, and I also like competing at Madden. I also really like to compete at card games.
Ooh, yeah.
Although I normally get crushed by my wife. She is way better at cards than me. I tend to risk it all.
Yeah, that's true. Growing up, we had dinner every Tuesday night at my mom's parents' house. And usually after dinner, we would play cards. And my cousins and I were really aggressive. We would play group solitaire, which is kind of ironic. But basically, you have your board and you play on everyone's aces.
You play 4 decks, right? So everybody has a deck.
Everybody has their own deck. So
right.
we would play with up to 8 or 9 people. And you're playing on each other's aces. And we're slamming cards down across the table.
Your goal is to get rid of your cards.
Yes, you're trying to clear your board first. That, and we would play spoons. Have you ever played spoons?
I've played spoons.
It's like card musical chairs. And my cousin Thomas would sneak a spoon and sit on it. And then if he didn't get one, he would stand up with it. Yeah, that. And then I still think I'm weirdly a little with costuming. I want to have, I don't know that it's a competition, but I want to be
well, you want to look good.
That.
You want to,
but I want it to be.
You don't want to look the worst in the group.
Yeah. But yeah, card games and costuming.
Awesome. So we're talking about competition today, and Wodi Gras specifically, but kind of how many fitness competitions do you do a year? Or let's say athletic competitions. That would include a race. I know you do some runs, but you don't really.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not really trying to compete in the run.
I do the Crescent City Classic every year because it's just a good time. And I might do 1 or 2 others a year, but I don't train for those. I think what's really cool is that what we do here allows us to go out and run 6.2 miles.
With no training.
And feel pretty good after. We finished last year. You and Kevin and I ran it, and it was
tried,
okay, we're done.
I tried to keep up with Sarah and Kevin, and they left me in the dust. And look, I was trying.
Okay, I don't know if I ever told you this, but the 3 of us, I would say we were solidly together for
half the race.
No, more than that.
More than half the race, yeah.
It wasn't until we got into City Park and I started pulling away a little and we finished. And I remember turning around and being like, man, I thought I was so much farther ahead of you than I was. I thought I had pulled away way more than I had.
I had picked it up because I was like, maybe I can catch up. And I couldn't. And I was like, God, my legs aren't working. I think Kevin finished right after you too.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just remember turning around and being like, I could have kicked it up faster.
I do like running the Crescent City Classic though a lot because it is short enough to go hard without training.
Yeah.
And it's not I'm not trying to finish in the top 500 and get a signed poster, but there are people that, we can try to race against. Well, we'll stick together and be like, hey, last mile, no holds bar, let's go.
Right. And I think it's something like that. It's also, unless you're a runner, I feel like there's not much of a point to train. You just go out there to enjoy it because it's so.
And it is enjoyable.
Big. But the first 2 miles, you're just ducking and weaving.
Yeah, it's just hey, let's stay together.
So,
we'll really race at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we stopped. We had Jell-O shots.
Yep.
I think we had mimosas at least once.
We did have a couple of mimosas. I had orange juice all down the front of my shirt.
Yeah.
So.
Other than that, Since I joined Rue, I've done beach brawl every year.
Mm-hmm.
And this year was different. I did 2 other competitions. One was very last minute. A couple girls asked. They were looking for a third. And then Raging Games that I trained for. But I would say that was the anomaly. It's usually like beach brawl and maybe one other thing that just sounds interesting or it's a good time of year.
I've done beach brawl every single year, except for last year because I was out of the country, but I'll be back. And what?
He really tried to make it work, y'all. He was like, okay, so I get off a plane. Ah, damn it, I can't.
I was like, I can't. I'm like, I am in the air.
He physically couldn't get there.
I physically couldn't get there. So I'll be back. I have done a few other competitions outside of beach brawl. But really, like, I don't have a lot of weekends to spare anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I can't do, like, 2 or 3 or 4 competitions a year. I'm already pretty busy. And it's not like, I mean, I do train for beach brawl in the sense that I practice the workouts. I don't do, like, a big lead-in. Maybe I probably have in the past, but not anymore. Now it's just, like, fun. Like, I want to do well.
Right.
Like, I want to, give it my best effort, but I am personally just where I am in my life. I am not like doing a build up or a ramp up into that.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before we had this official podcast about ramping up for a competition. And I think Raging Games has been the only one where I've truly done that because it was all on my shoulders.
You were doing individual.
But when you're working as a team, as long as you're consistent in the gym and you have good communication with the people you're working with, then it's a lot of fun. And you can do more than you think you can.
It's especially like a competition like beach brawl. Like if all of us spent 6 more months training hard, we probably really wouldn't affect our standings.
No, it's so stacked.
It's pretty stacked. So one of the reasons that I like to do, and this will lead us into Wodi Gras, but one of the reasons that I like to do beach brawl is because I feel like it's really well run. And that's important to me. Like if I'm going to spend time going to a competition, I like for the competition to be on time. You know, I want the judging to be pretty, at least even across the board. Like people will make mistakes, and like there are some. Every competition is going to have some issues with judging.
Every single one.
Every single competition.
I think the key is having, for the most part, I think I've never been to a competition and been like, none of these judges know. Never mind. We froze for a second. Okay. We're back. I've never been to a competition and been like, none of these judges know what they're doing, but I find the judging is best when they actively have like good head judges out there constantly monitoring and keeping everyone fair.
And so we started Wodi Gras. This will be the 3rd year.
Yeah.
Okay. We originally started with Hard to Kill Athletics. They run a bunch of different countries, competitions around the country. And they have their biggest competition was Bacon Beatdown. I don't think they do. I think they sold all their competitions. But Bacon Beatdown was actually bigger than beach brawl. We just didn't know about it because it was in Orlando on the other side of Florida.
Yeah, funny thing, if you are a Wodi Gras athlete or volunteer, we have Hard to Kill Athletic lanyards. So this is like
the last year.
Yeah, this is vintage.
You'll get that. So we started Wodi Gras in the gym, and it was a amazing first year. We had 50 teams?
47.
47 teams.
It was like electric in here all day long.
And it worked out really well because we were in a smaller venue. So the energy was super high. It was packed in here. Shane with Hard to Kill Athletics it was our first competition, but he said, hey, 2 most important things are this competition is run on time and the events are easy to judge.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of always been impacted on me because when I think about what makes or break a competition, it's like logistically, and do you feel you were judged fairly?
Yeah.
And there are some events that are inherently a problem to judge.
Right. This is a local fitness competition.
Right.
This is not leading into the CrossFit Games or something, where this could potentially impact your entire future.
Right.
In which case they want to put all of your skills to the test.
Right.
Like here, we still want to push you and test your fitness, but there's just some things that are awful to judge.
Yeah, I mean, even something as simple as double unders, or like, if we put 10 people in a room and I did 100 double unders, you might get 8 different scores.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so
I try not to do double unders ever in a competition.
You happen to be watching me judge someone in an open workout, and one of the best compliments, it stuck at, you were like, your double under count was spot on. And I was like, oh, thank you. I'm so worried.
Yeah, it's hard to judge.
I don't think I breathed the entire,
I mean, you have to be zoned
minutes.
in. And that's one of the things is I think people forget this is if competitions, local competitions had to pay their judges, and P.S., the CrossFit Games does not pay their judges. But if local competitions had to pay their judges to get better judges, there would be no local competitions.
Yeah.
So we rely on volunteers. So if you rely on volunteers, you're looking at, a volunteer giving up 8 hours on their Saturday, if not more. You have to be there's a balance between, hey, giving us some grace and also letting the judges know this is important. You need to pay attention.
Right.
So there's a lot to balance there. I just hope people remember that all the time. But anyway, so when we pick events for Wodi Gras, those are the types of things that I keep in mind. It's on the same, along the same lines of I try not to specify push press or push jerk.
Right.
It's more of shoulder to overhead, because if it's shoulder to overhead, it's a lot easier for the judge to judge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, things
start
like that.
And an end.
Right, start and an end. So, so we started in the gym, and we had to move out of the gym.
And that was it was packed in here. But the coolest thing was I kind of expected to hear some complaints after about that.
And we didn't.
And no one did. It was
did.
just such a good day from start to finish.
Yeah. The only complaints I got were from my landlord.
Surprise!
Which I basically told to F off.
Yeah, and then, do you remember we originally we're out on close to the river, and there's a levee across the street, and we originally had planned to do an event out on the levee.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster.
And I am so glad we didn't do that, because that would have been
I was like, this would be really
nightmare.
cool. And everyone's like, oh, you should really do an event on the levee. And everybody was really jacked. And then what they don't realize is you got to cross River Road that has cars with traffic going both ways. We can't stop traffic. Then you got the levee police, other people using the levee. We can't block off the levee. And I'm like, this is a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, it was a really good idea in theory, but there's too much going on outside of the gym on River Road for us to have made that possible.
With that being said, and my landlord blowing my phone up because we had people everywhere and the parking lot was full, and I'm sure we're over fire capacity code, whatever.
Oh, 100%.
We decided to move it to Tag Wormley Stadium. We looked at a bunch of other venues, but ultimately, in terms of bang for buck, and I was looking at something iconic, there was no real other local competitions in a football stadium. So
yeah, it just gives it a really cool vibe. I mean, we went out there last year to film one of the workouts, and Dr. Jonathan Burke used to play football for Jesuit, and it brought back some serious memories for him, and he was having a time.
Oh man! So we went with that, and we thought it was going to grow significantly. It didn't, but I think we're still in its infancy. So
right, and we also at the time we spent year 1 and 2 in a partnership.
Right.
This is the first year it's been all on us,
and it's bigger than last year.
It is.
So
really exciting.
We're excited. It has been very much well organized. So shout out to Sarah.
That's me.
Peter. Peter's
big shout out to Peter.
Yeah, big shout out to Coach Peter. He's been taking on a ton to get this comp organized and go. And Emily, shout out to Emily as well for task mastering
is not
mastering the shit out of this thing. I don't know. I don't know how to say that, but she did a really good job as well. So
question.
Yeah.
Did you always want to do something like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I thought I could run one really well.
Mm-hmm.
because I always have ideas, and I always want to create something.
Yeah.
It's just way harder than I ever thought.
Right.
It's like opening up the gym. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll crush this.
Expectation versus
right.
reality.
Like it's just. Both of these things have been incredibly more difficult. And I have lots of plans that I'd like to do. And the good thing is that I have, you, Peter, and Emily saying, hold on. Wait, calm it down. Okay.
Scale it back.
Yeah. Like I want to create a fitness race.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's, because I like the Spartan race or the Warrior Dash. I think that's really cool. Except that I don't want to crawl under barbed wire or get electrocuted or swim through a puddle of mud. Like, I'm just not into that. Like, I can do fitness without doing that shit.
We did just talk about 10Ks and drinking mimosas, so
Yeah,
I feel like barbed wire is definitely not your style.
Yeah, I mean, if you could tell, we're bougie AF, so even you are too, Sarah.
Yes.
You're bougie too.
You act like I'm sitting here denying it. That is false.
So anyway, I always wanted to create one, and I really like the programming aspect of the competitions. Now, and here's where I get a little pushback.
Yeah.
Because when I think of fitness, I think of all-encompassing.
Yeah, so what does that mean to you?
Right, what does that mean to me? And that means you have to run. Like, can you run? Can you row? Can you lift heavy? Can you do some other things for an extended period of time?
Right.
Can you do some things really fast and it's super intense in a short period of time? And I try to hit all those things. I think a lot of CrossFitters, and maybe this is where we get pushback, a lot of CrossFitters don't like to run.
Right.
And that just kind of blows my mind. And do you not like to run because your gym just doesn't program running often? Or because you physically not to run? Because if you consider yourself fit, you should be able to run. Long distances, short distances, medium distances.
Running is kind of the most basic elemental. I don't know. It's in terms of fitness, that's the low-hanging fruit. That's what everyone starts, like when they think of losing weight or getting in shape, they think about running.
So when we go back to what we opened the podcast with, and you said it's really cool that we can go run a 10K without training for it and run it pretty hard, I agree. And that's because we are fit AF.
I think there's also this misconception that I hear a lot here, and so this is a largely CrossFit and functional fitness community, but I hear so often that people just say they don't do it because they don't love it. Well, I'm like, if you don't like running now, you're probably never going to love it. But avoiding it is not going to help you either.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, running is fundamental to us as humans.
Yeah.
So if you can't outrun a cheetah, you're probably going to die, although none of us can outrun a cheetah.
Let's not test this.
Right.
This is not Wodi Gras 2021 first event, outrun a cheetah.
We're going to unleash some cheetahs on the football field, and whoever survives wins Wodi Gras.
Whoever survives goes on to event 2.
That'd be brutal, but fun for the rest of us.
We'd be like piecing teams together the rest of the day.
I need 2 females. We got 2 females over here. So, anyway, I don't know where I was going with this, but
I don't know. But what do you see? So you always kind of wanted to run a competition, didn't know exactly what that looked like. Do you see now where you want it to go?
Yeah, I do, and it's tough.
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to push it in a place that opens it up to more people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, right now, if you look at just from a gym business perspective, you have a lot more boutique functional fitness gyms in the market. And what functional fitness gym is, F45, Orange Theory, probably not like a Barry's Boot Camp, but anything that's going to involve weights, and some metabolic conditioning, right? And so I would love, and I mean, I know how to do this, but trying to balance between where we get like CrossFit teams and Orange Theory teams and F45 teams and being like, okay, which one of you gyms is the fittest?
Yeah.
Let's
see.
I think that would be really cool. And so when you're out there, I mean, you got to get some bragging rights on the street. Street bragging rights.
Is there going to be like a trophy and you put it in the front of your gym?
That would be awesome. I would be totally down for that. We call it the local functional fitness gym cup or something.
That's a lot of words. We're going to have to abbreviate
We'll figure that out. But anyway, I would love to, figure out a way to do that. But how do you do that without alienating CrossFitters because they want to lift super heavy, right? Because I imagine you can't have like super heavy max lifts or highly skilled and try to out fitness an Orange Theory or an F45. They just don't do that.
Right. I think it's kind of that idea of not biting the hand that feeds you.
Right.
Like you want to open it up, but still be inclusive to the people that made years 1 through 3 happen.
Absolutely.
Which is 100%.
I'm trying to figure that out. If anyone has any suggestions, any of you Wodi Gras folks that compete, we'd love to hear it. So.
Yeah, and one thing I know it's year 3, but just really impressed with is, I kind of started, I list everything we've done on the board.
Yep.
And then you and Shane come in, and we all kind of play devil's advocate with each other.
I come up with some crazy shit, and you guys edit the shit out of me.
But the programming has been different every year.
Yeah.
There are very few things we've done twice. And I don't want to... Okay, so this past year, I heard about so many competitions throughout the Gulf South where your strength event was a 1-rep max thruster.
Right.
And sorry, Beach Brawl, but the strength event was basically the same the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciate the thought that goes into it. And I would love to compete at Wodi Gras.
Yeah, I'd like to compete at Wodi Gras too. I think honestly, when I program the events, it'd be like, would I like to do this?
Right.
So get on the same page as me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that brings up to a good point, though. We talk about the strength. It makes me think about we're doing a bear complex, and it makes me think about last year, like we did front rack carries across.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the things about running a competition is the social media complaints about workouts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That happens.
And so, I get it. Like, you could almost pick apart anything. I'm not Dave Castro, right? Like, Dave Castro is way better at programming than I am. And people destroy the open.
We do. We see the workouts and we're like, what? No, absolutely not. I'm not doing
pick
that.
Pick apart, complain about stuff, talk about safety aspect to it and stuff like that. And here's the deal, and I think people forget this, and I'm going to give kudos to Dave on this as well, is that the open, like any competition, is a test.
Right.
It's not something that you are practicing. Okay. And we talk about this all the time. What's the difference between, practicing CrossFit and doing CrossFit for fitness? There's a big difference there. And if you are using these movements or like a bear complex to get fitter, on a continuous basis, that's probably not the best, mode of transportation to become fitter.
Right.
Constantly going behind the neck and up like that, although, behind the neck overhead movements are constantly used in Olympic weightlifting training. So I'm not off base here, but also it's a test. So you should only do a weight that you have already done.
Yeah.
In a safe, practiced environment. That's my thoughts on that. So
the test is not the time to try something brand new.
Yeah. This is and you're not doing it for money unless you're in RX, where there is a $500 cash prize. but even for $500, you shouldn't be tempting fate to do something you've never done before.
Yeah. In general, and also we see a lot of this is, and we've talked about this before, is you can't just practice, like you just said, you can't practice for a competition and expect to get fitter. Like if you are, I guarantee the person who is regularly squatting and regularly doing shoulder to overhead and regularly doing cleans, they can, a week before the competition, just work up to a heavy bear complex, see what it feels like, And they are going to do way better than the person who has done nothing but practice bear complex since the workout got announced.
100% agree. 100% agree. So there you go. There's your practice tip.
And I
7 days
guarantee
before,
that person
3 days before
is going to just be fitter in the long run.
Right. Absolutely. So, but back to a programming standpoint, like I try to pick things that are different and I try to think of things that are fun. Also, like, how do we put them together in a team aspect? And that's hard. Like, it's really hard to please everyone and do all those things. Mm-hmm. And you just know that some people aren't going to like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it.
And something else you didn't even mention that we think about is we have this great stadium and we want to make it really pleasing to watch. Like, if you're a spectator and you don't do CrossFit, but you're out there to support your brother who does, like, you want to be able to tell if his team's in first or not.
Are you talking about the surprise burpee field goal post bar muscle ups?
Shh, we weren't supposed to tell anyone about that.
That's not legit. Could you imagine that?
God, that hurts.
Crazy. We're not doing that.
Or are we? I don't know.
Is there a tiebreaker workout?
Okay, last year, I don't remember anybody commenting, but we brought
the sandbags out.
We brought sandbags out, and we had a potential tiebreaker workout, but we were just hoping that someone would be like, oh my God, what are those for all day? But we didn't tell anyone.
I was going to program that workout again for this year, and we didn't, but it was going to be a straight 4x100 meter relay with the sandbag around the track. So you're talking about something that takes 2 minutes tops, right?
Yeah. I mean, if each individual is sprinting, it's going to take less than that.
And there'd be strategy with either passing the bag off or dropping it and picking it back up, whatever you think's fastest. Who do you want to start where? Anchor, lead, all that stuff. And then ultimately we decided not to do it. Why did we decide not to do it? I don't know.
I think
people hate it. I don't know.
It might have been a mix of where we wanted to put the vendors and actually using the track.
It was logistics.
But yeah, that would have been a good one. So
I also had thoughts, and we're not going to do this because I've been vetoed, but if you're interested, comment below. Where we wanted the first event to be a 5K.
No, I'm totally for this.
We wanted the first event to be a 5K and also open it up to anyone who wants to run the 5K. So if you run the 5K, you get access to the party after, and then we have more spectators to watch the rest of the events. And it would actually be 2 scores. Mm-hmm. So it would be the first mile for the team and then the 5K time for the team.
I think it'd be really fun.
I think it'd be fun too. We kind of got vetoed, but if you think that's fun, throw it.
I don't think logistically this year.
Right, not this year, but I'm talking about next year.
I think it'd be cool.
If you think that's neat, or I'd love to hear your comments. Put that below. If you don't want to do the icebreaker, you can put that below. If you're still listening 30 minutes in. So.
Well, that would be cool because my dad would do that. Like Bud Baldwin,
I think a lot of people would do that.
Would be out there.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. So, cool. Anything else? Wodi Gras?
I don't know. I'm really excited.
Weather's going to be great.
If you were out there last year, props to you. It was freezing and it was cloudy all morning.
Yeah, we want to encourage everyone to BYOB, hang out. We're going to party like a Rue party. Mm-hmm. And a Rue party don't stop.
It doesn't.
So bring your ice chest out there. Bring your booze or whatever. We're also going to go to the Bulldog after. I think Chelsea's working on some drink specials for us, which is right around the corner from...
Yeah, last year you couldn't miss us. We had the Penske truck parked outside.
All the equipment was parked outside the Bulldog. I was driving it everywhere.
And hey, before we wrap it up, you gave us a shout out, but honestly it wouldn't matter... day of, you do a great job emceeing. And at the end of the day... We put out schedules and we try to keep everything running smoothly, but that really starts and ends with you. We do all this prep day before, but day of.
I cracked the whip.
Yeah, it's
with
true.
the MCs.
In his Mardi Gras tights.
I'll be back. The way the Wodi Gras shirts look this year and the Wodi Gras hats, like with those pants, I'm gonna look like Mardi Gras threw up all over me.
We all are.
Yeah, I'm excited though. It's good. It's all
I will
good.
be modeling something that the winners, the
I
podium
think Emily should
winners
wear
will
gold
get.
tights. That'd be fun.
I'm debating.
Yeah,
I
it'd be
might.
fun.
Well,
Make
I
it
might do
unique.
purple.
Oh, that'd be
I feel
fun.
like
That'd
purple
be
would
fun.
be good.
That'd be fun.
So we need someone in green and someone in gold.
Awesome, y'all. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there on Saturday. Have fun.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Let's go.
Holler.
Bye.
Bye.